Okay, we are back. We are in this rich district here, I suppose. We just finished the Bartado family quest and ended their rivalry with the Valera estate in a peaceful manner. So let's see what... Well, it's been a minute since I started this game, so first let's see what our quests are. Okay, give me a second. Our guest still too weak for this. We definitely gotta go to the palace, which is that did good services. Speak with Captain Aldi's. Guaro sells his junk. Gone. Yeah, that's the light path quest. Alright, let's continue the main quest for now. Malangi. Let's go to the road north. Oh, it's right here. This game looks beautiful. Serpent's Crown, Takana, State Serpent's. Let's just go Serpent's Crown in general. This way we can head to the village. We started having. Oh, we have been gone to Periki's Overlook. What was that quest that was supposed to be done in Periki's Overlook? Look that up.
Sure.
Kahanga Palace. Let's go here. To the palace atop the mountain. How clean. Clean water. Clean everything. Very beautiful. Okay. Upper floor.
Hold a moment. You may visit the palace and its shrine, but be warned. The Queen meets with trading company Vipers. Take care you are not bitten.
That's a strange way to speak to your allies.
Mere words.
Untroubled. I have information for the Queen, my boy.
You will find her in her throne room through the door behind me. Inform the guards of your purpose.
Indeed.
Whether the Queen will hear you above the baying of her guests is another matter.
Baying of her guests. Interesting. I gotta look that word up. Baying. The guard gestures toward the door, dismissing you. Oh man. Let me just eat this pretzel and some of this monster. Okay. Ooh, that looks beautiful. Automated cutscene. Interesting. Didn't expect that.
While I am flattered by the esteemed Hazanui's confidence, I must wonder how my people are meant to have destroyed an entire colony overnight.
You tell us. It's no coincidence that your outpost at Port Mage survived the recent storm.
You speak as if I could command the tides. While you are casting your blame in a wide net, why not look to our Kahanga allies? We do not share their talent for shaping water.
Is that the Queen?
I say our guest forgets himself.
Nope, it's the Prince.
Brother, stand down.
Queen Onokaza II. She looks younger than her brother. Up to this point, the Queen has studied the proceedings with an even expression. She half rises from her throne as she fixates on Prince Aruhi.
You are the one who mistakes my throne room for a sparring arena. I say this is beneath us.
As Aruhi lowers his head, the Queen slowly centers her gaze on you and leaves it there. Queen Onikaza, I highly recommend you get rid of these Valians because they will be taking over and overthrowing your empire. That I promise you, young lady.
An interesting visitor in difficult times. You cannot be here to deliver a favorable omen.
Ooh, she can do telekinesis. Though her mouth doesn't move, Onikaza's voice comes to you like an insistent memory nestled among the surface thoughts. She has some powers.
Allow me to apologize as I toss you before the wolves. This one is a watcher blessed by Tangaloa. I suspect that many of our questions about Hasongo will soon be answered.
Interesting. Interesting. You're going through the digestive tracts of one life, the other is death. Sorry, what's the song go? If it pleases the court, I have journeyed from a crippled Port Mage. To damage your colonies was the work of the gods. I come with warning for the queen. How did you know I'm a watcher? Sorry, what's that song go?
One of our busiest ports. Much of the food we send to Rawatai passes through Hasongo. I take it from your question that you are not here to enlighten us about Hasongo.
If it pleases the court, I've journeyed from a crippled Port Mage.
Fuck, I know this one. His parlor tricks frightened 10 years of every sailor in Queen's Birth.
Raising her head for silence, Onikaza looks at her brother. He approaches and they exchange a few words. Quietly, he lifts her gaze.
We assembled to discuss the darkening of Hasongo, one of Rawatai's colonies. Watcher, it seems you have the floor.
Port Mage suffered similar damage when Aotis passed through. It's possible that Aotis only paused with Hasongo on his way to parts unknown. We must do something before Aotis tramples yet another settlement. Fort Hasongo, I seek the giant who passes through these rivers. Yes.
Huh. What sailor's tale is this?
There's no sane explanation for what's been happening. You keep waiting for one, it'll be too late.
Does tilling the soils of the Eastern Reach drive all men mad? You sound as crazy as the Dawnstar Dreamers.
He looks at Eder the way one would look at an especially rabid but fascinating animal.
Have you not heard the rumors, Karu? An Adra Colossus marching across the sea. Sailor tales, but credible ones.
How came a watcher from half the world away to be involved in these happenings? Enlighten the court.
Barrett herself sent me to track down Aotis. Everyone is in danger while Aotis walks. I must do something. Aotis emerged from beneath Kaidnua, my castle. He made this personal. I'm here against my will. Anyone still listening to free to help me or Yep.
The Lady of Doors must have great confidence in you. Tracking down a god who stands as tall as a mountain. A fisherman with poor eyesight could do this. My priests will trip over their feet to interpret his divine plan. Watcher, can you cut through the din and tell for what he comes to the Deadfire?
Yes, I plan on using Adra pillars to track and ultimately confront Aotis. I'll need to find him first or die trying. Whatever Aotis is here to accomplish, I'll get to the truth out of him. The gods are no mystery to me. Aotis will answer for his actions.
How resourceful of you. The Isles are studded with enough luminous Adra to bankroll an economy. I believe our course is clear. We will send the Watcher to Hasongo.
Onikaza spreads her hands calmly.
Set sail to the west of Nekataka. I would tell you to keep a weather eye out for a lighthouse, but the God of Light did not appreciate competition.
Wait, isn't that where Eder's so-called son, supposed son, is supposed to be?
Something to add, Hazanui? You have an eager look about you. She believes herself entitled to my ear, I say.
What the hell is that?
Only that Hasongo is a Rawatayan outpost. It would be useful for the Watcher to take one of ours along.
Ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. As composed, Omawa stands at attention, her furrowed brow cleaving down otherwise warm features. By her feet, a colorful bird preens itself without concern.
Maya's an expert sailor and a better sharpshooter. The best the Brass Citadel has to offer. Whatever comes your way, she'll see it first.
If it gets me and Ashiza out of diplomat duty, we'd set sail with a drunk scolder at the helm.
Boy.
You should feel no obligation to take on additional crew. The choice is yours.
I'll take her. Always good to have an additional gun on hand.
Say the word and I'll shoot the tip off a green boy's nose.
Looks up, surfing, his eyes closed as he nods along. Shorty's eyes gleam with dark amusement.
But this is unacceptable. How are we to protect the company's investments if we cannot...
Calm down, Nero. I'm sure you'll get one of your spies in place eventually.
My lady has small
In the meantime, Watcher, I hope you'll meet me in the Brass Citadel. There's more for us to discuss among friendlier company.
I believe we are finished here. Aruihi?
Queen Onozeka rises from her throne, and the surrounding guards stand at
Aren't we popular? Take care at Hasongo. The Deadfire was overfull before Aethys blundered in. Your allies will use you toward any end. Do not give your trust lightly.
I say it is beyond time our guests lick their wounds somewhere else.
Interesting. She seems to have wisdom beyond her ears, and he seems to be very aggro.
Let's speak.
Choose the single class or multi-class. Ranger aims for a spot that will leave a trail. Hail companion. Instruct the ranger's animal companion to rush a target, knocking it prone. Gunhawk. Gunhawks are a type of ranger unique to Rautai who use hawk companions to complement their sharpshooting skills. Seriously. Gunner. Vicious companion. Gain concentration. Okay, not bad. Let's accept the ranger class. Cypher. I like her. Add her as a good. Let's add her on there.
While we have the chance.
I like her and what's her?
I know exactly what you're thinking.
Maya folds her arms and licks her tongue against the roof of her mouth. What's that?
You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew? My superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here.
I see.
I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice.
At least you're upfront about spying on me.
Better that you hear it from me than someone else, right?
Yep.
The company isn't in the business of reassigning officers outside of the mission unless they've got a damn good reason. And you are a damn good reason. Take the compliment. Uncomplicated. Just the way I like it. Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks. Ishi, come.
That's a good-looking bird. Hey, birdie. Hey, birdie.
Interesting. Ma cocks her head and listens.
Takes practice before he'll listen to you properly, but that's a good start.
Eder nods at Ishiza, who bows his head in response. Eder nods twice, and the watchbird replies with 2 head bobs. Eder begins tilting his head up and down, and Ishiza follows it with vigorous, full-body bobs. Encouraged, Eder starts bouncing his own body up and down, at which point Ishiza stops bouncing and watches Eder with cockeyed curiosity.
Did your friend suffer a head wound? Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question. You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made.
Figuring it out as I go, but yes. But I still get the big hat, right? I didn't exactly choose this life, but I'm trying to make the best of it.
Life at sea. It does have a way of simplifying things down to the bare elements. A crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it?
I'd kill her, set an example for the rest if she had the better grasp on morale. Light a fuse leading to the black powder. Leap. Yeah, I'll see what happens. Mutiny. Compromise with the crew. Light a fuse leading to the black powder. And leap over the railing.
I've never heard such agreeable terms of surrender. But then again, I've only served under ruthless iron braggarts. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours.
Ever stifled a mutiny yourself, soldier?
Mostly preemptive measures. We try to pull the weeds before they reach the garden.
Yeah.
But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain. I've got some answers.
Tell me about your family.
Well, my parents came from the Deadfire. I'm getting a taste of my roots. After they immigrated to Rawatai, their talents caught the Ranganui's eye. He saw them as this spectacle, this achievement of the old country, I guess. So they were honored guests. Not many Huana rose to distinction in Takoa. We were also curiosities.
A tribal civilization primarily comprised of island Aomaua, also the Huana or Aomaua, but their island, which thrived in the Deadfire archipelago, the Rawatai or Aomaua of the land. The largely decentralized Huana share common values, mythology, and ethical.
Even as we broke the same bread and tossed back the same wine, the Ranganui's friends always checked under the table to see if I had a tail. Kana thought it was hilarious. You're telling me. Growing up in the Ranganui's shadow wasn't all bad. We had tutors and advisors at our disposal, and lots of folk from stranger parts than these. I spent my days learning to shoot, while my more academic siblings learned to express themselves. I leave you to judge who spent their time better.
I see. How did you and Ishiza first get acquainted? You're one of Kana's siblings, aren't you?
Sure am. And I heard that you two spent some time together. Funny how the gods toss things together.
Oh my god, Maya is the sister of the Awama, singing Awama from the first game.
He came back from the Deerwood with his head full of stories about the Angwithans. Used them to make an argument for our expansion into the north, and by the gods did people ever listen. He lost some of that childish glow, but the weird ideas stayed with him.
I bet he went through a lot. Fought enormous battles. Use them to make an argument for expansion into the north.
You clearly had some sway on his opinions, more than I ever did. Wish you had told Kana to give up on the poetry. He's got no ear for it.
I did my best to help Kana find the meaning he sought. Glad to hear he's making a difference. Take it easy on him. Hey, I enjoyed Kana's songs. He's not here, is he? I don't have time for non-stop blather. Glad to hear he's making a difference. Take it easy on him. Hey, I enjoyed Kana's song.
If you want to hear a voice like a powder keg belting out Rawatayan anthems while you're running at a dragon, be my guest. Some of us find it distracting. I do with bullets what Kana did with words. Just in case you were wondering, the comparison ends there.
Who's a good bird?
Uh-oh. That's his "I'm hungry and you're wasting my time" face. Better step back, Captain.
How did you get acquainted with the bird?
I won a shooting competition at the Ranganui's estate. This was a few years before enlisting with the Navy. As a reward, he gave me the freedom of the Royal Eyrie and said I could take my pick of the warbirds. Stinkfeathers here kicked a rather pretty hawk off my arm so he could have me all to himself. Been inseparable ever since.
See, let's be off. Huh. Health is 170, 20. Defense is bad. Duskfall. And all unfit for melee. Okay. Where's Garb? I suppose.
What do you think, Ishii?
Right.
For the Republic. Meet with the director at the Valiant Trading Company office. The Valiant Trading Company has a base of operations in Greensboro District. I'm going to speak with someone in charge. That's the place to start. The Eldest was last sighted near Hasango, an island northwest of Nigataka. Let's see what this is about. Speak with the Hazuna at the Brass Citadel. Hazuna Kado leads the Roatan forces in the region. Through the Royal Deadfire Company, Roatai has territories around the archipelago. That makes the Hazanue and her people a power of note. It may be of interest to meet with her to see where the interests converge.
Your coming is a favorable omen already.
How's
You
that?
happen by a time when our rivals bicker and tear at each other's throats. I say the gods have sent us a rare gift wearing a familiar face. Save your manners for my sister. Kohopa fashioned me for the arena, not the court. I will not paddle around the island. My sister wants to know if you are as useful as you are disruptive. She trusts me to judge this. You did not come this far to serve the crown, I say. But sailing is an expensive hobby. Loyal service can keep your galley stocked.
Could use some extra coin to outfit galleon. May I speak with the queen?
I am Onikaza's shield. For a time, let it suffice that we speak with the same authority. After the sorry display we have put on, you have every right to be curious. Have on, then.
How does the caste system work in Nigataka?
It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe. I am not the first to say it, but Nekataka has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Nekataka tests our traditions, I say.
Don't you see that as a contradiction?
What man or woman of the Isles does not? Our ancestors built this place. We are the hermit crab who occupies a fallen shell. It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit.
I'm still not sure what the argument was about.
The trading companies beat their chests and howl at each other. Business and conquest speak louder than hospitality.
Indeed. Indeed.
If I was the Hazanui, I would think twice before barking that a tribe as wealthy and ruthless as the Valians destroyed my lighthouse.
How does the caste system work?
It is the same. I'm not nowhere in the city. You speak as if it is not. Our ancestors built this. It is for my sister and her priest to judge the fit. Akira, as the largest and most prosperous of the Deadfire tribes, the Kahanga have some authority to speak for the others. I say Onikaza and I are large stones in a tide pool, standing tall as the water rises to our necks.
You don't seem to think of much of trading companies.
My sister has mastered the diplomat's tongue, and I am foolish to give her frustrations a loud voice. But Akira, I pray every day that Ngati tests the outsiders against her tallest waves and longest serpent.
The ocean is a few monsters short since the Armada showed up. I think we passed your fish god's trial.
Okay then.
Quite so, Maya.
Quite so, Maya. He turns away blushing. Ooh, you have a crush on her, don't you?
We agree on much, I say. The prosperity of the Huana, our burden to appease the gods.
Okay, continue.
In the trading companies, Onikaza sees Worika testing us, weighing who deserves the Isles. I see Ngate sending krakens of gold and iron against our ship, but arming us with a single harpoon.
I see.
The gods will judge us by our persistence and our grace before foes. While you are in Nekataka, maybe you are interested in making yourself useful. My sister keeps a tight grip on Nekataka, but the filth of it drips down her palm and into the gullet. You have some knowledge of Nekataka already. They say you have explored the city beneath the city. Under our noses, I say, do foreigners smuggle contraband and pay the Raparu for their silence? How do they avoid the inspectors? Who is responsible? This cannot have gone unseen by all.
The Principe are smuggling cargo via the Undercroft.
Undercroft, a darker, more fetid layer of Nekataka, I say. Onikaza and I are the mind and heart of the city, but the bowels, these we cannot reach. At least Delver's Row is a stable target. The Crown has time to decide the next steps.
I think Devil's Row should remain untouched.
What say? You hit upon my curiosity. Speak on.
The Roparu are barely in control of their lives as it is. Don't take this away from them. At least it's keeping the Roparu busy. And sending coin through Nekataka.
You are quick to come to their defense, but the Raparu must recall their place in society.
Man has never faced hardship.
If the black market will expend its resources toward the Raparu, then I say they have bought an uneasy truce. Delver's Row is safe, for now. Be sure that I do not regret this. I had my suspicions, but I had no wish to see them confirmed. When it comes to the dignity of the guild, the Crown can compromise nothing. Onikaza will see their leadership disciplined, I say. Akira, and if we enjoyed less interesting times, I say she would.
See,
Onikaza and I both expect more from the guild, I say. She will not be pleased. Akira, but at least you returned to me in one piece. You are not the first agent I sent to the gullet, but you are the first to return.
I never left for the gullet. I went there before I met you.
I say I would feel safe anywhere with Rauatai's sharpest weapon in my arsenal.
If you're trying to flatter me, stop taking notes from my brother the poet.
I cannot say that I desire to send you to worse places than the gullet, but...
He trails off and scratches the back of his head, but you're going to anyway. Be gone, I left me a good impression with Onikaza.
Akira, I like a man who works for his prize. Does the name Ukaizo mean anything to you?
I believe it's a sacred island somewhere in the Deadfire. An old mosaic beneath the city depicted Ukaizo.
Ukaizo was the home of the Huana before cataclysm and destruction wiped the island from the Deadfire. That is the story. Story or no, I make no secret that we search for Ukaizo.
I see. Continue.
I do not share this lightly, I say.
Please, speak on. If it looks like I'm taking notes, it's because I am.
Should I leave this in the hands of someone I trust instead?
Me misbehave?
Our tribes are spread across many isles, but it is Ukaizo which binds us. Ukaizo, and the knowledge that we must return. To that end, a local cartographer secured a lead. A breadcrumb to a breadcrumb, I say. I sent an expedition to Matario Kozi, one of the Sanctuary Isles. They were to retrieve evidence of our lost homeland. They have yet to return. Naturally, I say, my sister remembers her friends. I remember her enemies. Before you go,
That did seem like too nice a way to end it.
the expedition, I have reason to believe they will not be returning to Nekataka. You forget yourself, but I am more forgiving than my sister. We found this at the palace doorstep, cut from the robe of the expedition leader.
He reaches into his pocket and draws forth a wad of red-stained bark cloth.
One mystery heaped on another, I say.
He drags his thumb over the cloth and frowns to himself. Who could have sent this? Let me see that. I might be able to learn something from it. Nodding, he relinquishes the scrap. A fragment of essence clings to the fabric like a thread woven too tightly to be unraveled. Trees tower above you, and ropey vines stretch like tentacles across a marshy ruin. It takes all your strength to trudge through the hip-deep water. You glance over your shoulder, but the women and men of your company aren't there. Then a shape moves off in the distance. You draw your weapon, feeling now more alone than ever. The vision departs, leaving you with a deep pit in your stomach and the phantom sensation that nothing has gone as it should have. The prince regards you expectantly. Interesting, he's dead. Nature is restless on this island, but I can guess nothing more. He's dead, they're all dead. The owner of this robe is surely dead. Hold out hope for the rest.
Kira, that is something, I say. Take care if you alight on Matario Cozy. My fear is that the island is sanctuary no more.
Oh boy. Sighing, Prince Aruhi folds the cloth with reverence.
Prepare yourself for a hard voyage northeast of Nekataka. Matario Cozy is nestled in the Kua Rakuhu Islands, in the midst of a landmass that resembles a storm, like the fall of Ukaizo locked in time.
Aruhi bites his thumbnail and turns away, lost in thought.
Don't mind me as I take down those coordinates.
Last sanctuary. Travel to the ruins. Wana Faction. Motari Cozy is nestled in the Kua Oriku chain of islands, a long journey northeast of Nekataka in the midst of a landmass shaped like a storm. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll do the Valiant Trading Company one next. This is right here. Next time. Comment, subscribe, leave a like, folks.